In the small, bustling village of Umuagbu lived a young beautiful girl named Adanma. She was as beautiful as the morning sun spilled through the cracks of a mud-walled kitchen, lighting the small hut with laughter and smile. Adanma's mother, Mama Ifeoma, was already bent over by the cooking fire, pounding pepper in a wooden mortar. Ifeoma, Adanma's younger sister, darted back and forth, sweeping the compound, fetching water, and peeling vegetables. But Adanma lay sprawled on a raffia mat inside the small hut, idly picking at roasted groundnuts. Adanma didn't care for the house chores. She didn't like doing any kind of chores, in fact. She was very well known for this. Adanma, Mama Ifeoma called, not pausing from her work. Why don't you help with the cooking today? Ifeoma has been running up and down since dawn. Adanma rolled her eyes and stretched lazily. My head hurts, Mama. I'll do it later. But later never came. Instead, she drifted into the village square to gossip with her friends, laughing loudly and telling stories about everyone and everything. This made her sister sad and her mother very worried. Her excuses were unending. See, I broke my toe, she would say, limping. But by evening she was walking around the village with her friends. Her toes magically healed. She never went to the river to fetch water. If at all she bothered to go, she would go empty-handed. Who goes to the river without a jerry can, Adanma? Her mother would ask. But I do. Adanma would say, scoffing. Her mother would sigh and shake her head. This character will not help you. A week later, excitement swept through the village like Harmattan wind. The elders had announced the annual cooking competition for young maidens. It was a grand event. The winner be given nice gift from colourful prints, nice jewelry, and receive a basket of other handmade goods, and the chance to be a princess for a whole day. The dream every family in Umuagbu. Adanma. Her friends squealed when they saw her at the stream. You must enter the competition. You have such style, you'll win for sure. Adanma scoffed, dipping her toes into the cool water. What's the point? I'm not even good at cooking. That's why you should try, one of them insisted. It's just for fun. Imagine being a princess for a whole day. The thought of everyone watching her in the spotlight made Adanma smile. Against her better judgment, and without any real preparation, she announced her entry in the cooking contest. Her mother reminded her to practice, or do something to prepare herself for her competition. I know what to do, Adanma said. The day of the competition arrived. Adanma felt ready, even without any special preparation or practice. The day of the competition was here. The air was alive with music and the smell of spices. Maidens in bright wrappers bustled about the open arena, chopping vegetables, grinding pepper, and tending to their fires. The elders sat at a long table, ready to judge. The crowd gathered in excitement. Adanma stood at her station, looking slightly lost. She had never handled such a large cooking pot before. She poured in too much salt, forgot to wash the meat properly, and left the soup boiling unattended, while she struggled to wash her bitter leaf properly. I wish Mama could help me, she whispered under her breath. But her mother stood far away, fear in her eyes. When she finally served the judges, the soup was so bitter and the meat was half done and very raw. The palm oil danced around the plate without blending in. The bitter leaves were as bitter as it was plucked. Chief Okori, the head judge, frowned and pushed the bowl away. My daughter, this food is not fit for a dog. The crowd roared with laughter. Some covered their noses. Others shook their heads in pity. And she is such a beautiful girl, one elderly woman said. What is beauty without character? The other replied scornfully. Adanma's face burned with shame. She wished the ground would open up and swallow her. She left the arena in tears, her friends trailing behind in awkward silence. As she reached the mango tree where she often lounged, her mother's voice echoed in her mind. Hard work will give you the keys to success, my child. Laziness may give you rest now, but it will bring you shame later. That night, she could not sleep. She thought of the laughter, the ridicule, and the look of disappointment in her mother's eyes. Her father was even more disappointed. I have been disgraced before the elders. His eyes were sad. He shook his head, and was silent. The next morning, Adanma rose before dawn for the first time in years. She walked into the kitchen, where Mama Ifioma was stoking the fire. "Mama, I will like to help," she said quietly. "Will you teach me how to cook? I don't want to be laughed at again." Adanma said sadly. Mama Ifioma looked at her for a long moment, then smiled. "Of course, my daughter. Let's start today." From that day forward, Adanma worked alongside her mother and sister, fetching water, chopping vegetables, pounding pepper until her arms ached. She burnt her fingers, spilled ingredients, and made mistakes. Even though it was hard at first, Adanma kept trying. Helping their mother now became a competition as both girls did it with all excitement, racing each other to the chores. Mama Ifioma was so proud of her children. Weeks turned into months, and the girl who once lounged idly became a skilled and confident young woman. When the next year's competition arrived, Adanma was ready. She tied her wrapper firmly, braided her hair neatly, and worked with precision. The aroma of her dish filled the air, drawing murmurs of approval from the crowd. When the judges tasted her soup, their faces lit up. "This is rich, flavorful, and perfectly cooked," Chief Okori announced. "Adanma, you have redeemed yourself." The crowd erupted in cheers. Her mother's eyes shone with pride, and Ifioma clapped so hard her palms turned red. Her father's eyes lit up. He danced around in big steps with his walking stick. "Everything worth doing is hard at first, but if you keep practicing, you will be the best in no time," he said happily to his daughter. Adanma beamed, knowing she had finally redeemed herself and earned her place at the first place, not through charm or luck, but through hard work and determination. Adanma did not forget to carry her family along to the palace, because when she needed to find her way back, they were always there. Moral of the story: laziness may give you comfort today, but it will bring you shame tomorrow. Hard work and perseverance turn shame into honor.